আপনারা যারা আগত রয়েছেন, আপনারা কিন্তু কঠিন পরীক্ষার মাধ্যমে গত 2 বছর না 2.5 বছর ধরে পরিশ্রম করে সেই পরীক্ষায় উত্তীর্ণ হয়েছেন।
15th October 2009 was graduation day for 176 women of southern Bengal. They belong to a segment of society called the ultra-poor.
একটা কথা বলুন, আপনার বাড়িতে এখন কত টাকা আছে?
বাড়িতে কিচ্ছু নেই।
না না আছে।
বলছি তো যেন খাওয়া হয়নি আমার, 2-3 দিন গারোবার থেকে চলে গেছে।
আমি কলকাতায় ভিক্ষে শিক্ষি করি।
দিন তো গেল, সন্ধ্যা হলো, পার করো আমারে।
মানুষ হলে তাহলে ওই রকম
কি খাবেন আপনি?
ভাত খাও, ভাত খাও, আর কি খাবো?
আমাদের সঙ্গে
ভাতের সঙ্গে কিছু নেই।
Shomiron Bibi is an optimist. She owns a small patch of land in Badlamari village. Although she had no resources, no money, and very little experience as a farmer, she tried growing rice on her land. Shomiron was determined to dedicate every effort to her land, and she would pray for a good yield. Badlamari and its surrounding regions do not have electricity, tap water, or paved roads. The land is too low for profitable cultivation and too shallow for fisheries. Shomiron's husband, Monajat Boiddo, did odd jobs as a farm labourer now and then. Their elder son walked 2 miles to school. The little one stayed at home. This was the family portrait of Shomiron Bibi in 2007. Jomuna Sardar would wake up at 4 in the morning and walk to the swamps 4 miles away from her home. She spent 10 hours a day catching crabs. On a good day, she earned 50 rupees. Jomuna's son Kalu didn't attend school. He spent his time catching fish in the drying canal in front of their house. It was 3 in the afternoon when Jomuna Sardar cooked some pumpkin and fish that her son Kalu had caught. This was the family's first meal of the day. A neighbor arrived. A whole day had passed since she had had anything to eat. The Sardars shared their food with the old woman. No one knew how the next meal would come and when. Years of hunger take a heavy toll on precarious lives in this part of the world. When we returned a month later, the old woman had passed away.
Unlike Shomiron Bibi, Jomuna had no land to cultivate.
Trickle Up faced the daunting task of lifting Jomuna's family out of poverty. And Jomuna's was just 1 out of 300. This was the family portrait of Jomuna Sardar in 2007.
if you want to reach the very poor, which is the population that we're working with and that we see in these villages, there's a different intervention needed.
আচ্ছা এবারে এই রাস্তার পাশে যেখানে ICDS সেন্টারটা আছে সেই
To
জায়গাটা
identify the families eligible for support, the method of selection used was participatory rural appraisal.
ওর আগে ICDS
First, they put in the winding roads, the ponds, the old banyan tree, the familiar landmarks they passed every day. Then they put in the families.
ঠিক দাদা ঠিকঠাক হচ্ছে তো জামাল বাদ গিয়েছে জামালের বাড়ি কোন জায়গাটা হবে এটা চিহ্নিত কর দিদি এই লক্ষণ সর্দার আর কার্তিক সর্দার তাই তো এই দুজনের মধ্যে কার অবস্থা কেমন একটু ভালো
হ্যাঁ একটু ভালো আছে
Then they assessed who the poorest were. There was some debate in the beginning, but the results were mostly non-controversial. After the families had been identified, the villagers selected assets that would best benefit them. Shomiron Bibi got a few goats to raise. Others got fish for their ponds. Jomuna Sardar got a few sheep and some piglets. These participants of the Trickle Up program were then trained on how they could take care of their assets.
এইটা দিই শুধু এটা দিয়ে ফুটো করলেন ফুটো করার পরে একটু পেটটা এদিক ওদিক চেপে একটু গ্যাসটা বার হলো এটা লাগানো থাকবে
প্রথমে হচ্ছে একটা হচ্ছে ডিম তাই তো আর কিছুটা একটু উষ্ণ জল দিয়ে
As part of the program, all the women learned to sign their names. Theirs was the first generation of women in Badlamari to ever write anything. All families were given a subsistence allowance to tide them over for the first 3 to 4 months. This ensured that the ultra-poor people did not consume their new assets.
সামিরন ভাবি কি রকম আছে বলো ভাবি ভালো আছে
একটা ছাগলের শরীর
এবারে কোন ছাগলটা তিনটা বাচ্চা হয়েছে
এরকম হয়ে গেছে
তাই
Most women spent the allowance on their staple food, rice. But they also saved some of it. For many of them, this was the first time they had anything to save. Some even managed to increase their assets. Field workers and health workers visited the participants every week. They are handholders, and they work as mentors to trickle up participants. Shahanara Loshkar is the handholder at Ishwaripur.
ও দিদি ভালো আছেন তো রান্না বান্না করেছেন কি রান্না করেছেন ছেলে মেয়েদের স্কুলে পাঠাচ্ছে তো হ্যাঁ দেখি না দেখি হাত নোক টোকগুলো ঠিকঠাক কাটবে হ্যাঁ দাঁত মাজাবে সকালবেলা মুখ ধোয়াবে ভালো করে
Handholders ensure that the children are sent to school, that self-help group meetings are held regularly. They instruct on matters of hygiene and sanitation.
That hand-holding is absolutely essential. And it costs more to deliver, but the results are marked.
When we visited Shomiron Bibi in Badlamari, we found that one of her goats had a tumor. All handholders receive basic veterinary training. Mehboob Alam, the local handholder, had also received basic training in veterinary surgery.
I think more important than the asset that they receive, more important than the formal training that they receive, is the hand-holding.
Many Trickle Up participants lost homes, livestock and stored food grain when Cyclone Aila plowed through the region.
যখন দমক এসেছিল তখন এনে চাপা পড়েছে প্রথম ওদের ডেকে নিয়ে খুঁটি হেলান দিয়ে বার করেছি বার করার পরে এবার আমরা সব পালিয়ে গেছি সন্ধ্যাবেলা পুরোটা একদম চেপে ভেঙে গেছে
Despite their losses, Trickle Up participants showed extraordinary resilience and began rebuilding their homes and livelihoods. Heavy rain had destroyed Chomiron Bibi's first rice crop, but her optimism had survived. When we returned to Badlamari a few months later, we found that she had planted rice yet again. With the Trickle Up program, there was a bit of money going around. The women were pooling their resources together and had formed self-help groups. Participants would meet regularly and save money in a combined fund. They could take loans from the fund to expand their businesses or pay school fees. In emergencies, they could help each other instead of going to the local moneylenders. Self-help groups give members the opportunity to share ideas and the confidence to manage finances.
People are talking with their field worker, asking questions very specifically that they might not ask in a large group. There's a concept known as just-in-time learning, which is you don't tell them something they'll need to know later, you tell them something they can use today.
When participants who owned fields felt confident enough to innovate, they were taught improved cultivation techniques like SRI, the system of rice intensification. Under SRI cultivation, rice is grown from rows of single seedlings or tillers. The underlying idea is to plant a single tiller and take better care of it.
আমি তো কোনো সময় করা হয়নি সবে তো করা হচ্ছে দেখা যাক
আল্লাহর দান আপনাদের দোয়া যদি তোমার
হয় হ্যাঁ আল্লাহর দানা তোমাদের দোয়াতে যদি হয়
তবে সংস্থা থেকে আমাদের যথেষ্ট হেল্প করে
Kaiser is a handholder in Monohara Bibi's village. He supervises the SRI training and supports farmers who adopt the technique.
যদি চাষ করতে পারি আবার কিছুটা পুনরায় লোকজন আমার থেকে আরো চাষি হবে শিখবে আমি তাদের শেখাবো
ট্রেনিং নেওয়া যতক্ষণ গতবার আমি শিওর যাচ্ছি কাজে
আমরা তো তৈরি হচ্ছে চাষ করব এই বিকল্প চাষ হ্যাঁ
We went to Badlamari to find that Chomiron Bibi's hard work had finally paid dividends. She harvested the best rice crop in Badlamari. Over the next few months, Jomuna's and Chomiron's families invested their profits. Chomiron Bibi and her husband built a new house. For the first time, the family ate 3 square meals a day. Jomuna Sardar installed a new toilet. She bought new clothes for the children. Jomuna's son Kalu was in school.
আগে আমাদের একটু খারাপ বা কিন্তু কাপড় চোপড় হতো সেরকম হতো না তেল সাবানও হতো না এখন সেভাবে একটু আর কি ভালো আছে
The participants had been involved in the Trickle Up program for nearly 2 years when we returned. The turnover from the assets was regular. The better income resulted in better food, more nutritious food.
না আগে কত না আমরা এখন করে এখন এইসব দিদিরা দাদারা আমাদের পাশে থেকে আমাদের একটা বুদ্ধি আর দিল তখন থেকে আমরা এইসবগুলো করি না হলে আগে আমরা জানতাম
With more time on their hands and a full granary, Chomiron Bibi and her husband started a business in their new house. They took up embroidery, and from this they got their first cash returns.
নতুন বাড়ি তৈরি করেছে ভালো আছে জমি ধান ছিল না ধানটা হয়েছে
There are changes in assets, certainly. I can see more animals in the household. I can see sometimes more household possessions. But I think the most noticeable change is in the attitude. I remember going to savings groups early on and finding the women very quiet. But this last time I visited a savings group which has been in action for about 9 months, and the transformation was phenomenal. The women were leading the meeting. The field worker was very much in the background, really didn't have anything to say during the meeting. The accountant was working but was not involved in the actual process of the meeting. It was wonderful to see.
এখন এই প্রজেক্টের ভিতরে ঢুকে আমি সব জায়গা যাওয়া ধরেছি, হাসপাতাল টাতাল আমার কোনো জায়গা এখন আর বাদ নেই। আমি সব জায়গা যাওয়া ধরেছি, চতুর হয়েছি, ওই বুদ্ধিও আমার বেড়েছে, বাড়ার পরে এখন আমি অনেক শক্তিশালী হয়েছি।
বুদ্ধির উন্নতি হয়েছে, কোথায় গেলে আমরা কোথা থেকে পাবো। এই ধরো আমাদের বাচ্চা কাছে রেশন কার্ড হয়নি, আমরা অঞ্চলে এখন বলেছে তোমরা অঞ্চলে 4-5 জন মিলে যাও, কোথায় কি করতে হবে সেটা আমরা করতে পারছি অঞ্চলে এই কাজ যোগ কার্ডের জন্য।
The Trikala program was developed in partnership with the Consultative Group to Assist the Poor, a global policy and research center dedicated to advancing financial access for the world's poor.
আমরা অনেক সাহস করেছি, অনেক কিছু করতে পেরেছি, অনেক বুঝতে শিখেছি, অনেক বলতেও শিখেছি। এবারে সেইখান থেকে আমাদের আশা রাখছি যে আমরা এর পরিবেশে আরও কিছু করতে পারবো, এরকম করে আমরা এগিয়ে চলেছি। মনে আশা রাখছি আমরা এর থেকে আরও ভালোভাবে হতে পারি।
On 15th October 2009, 176 women graduated out of the ranks of the ultra-poor. For Shomiron Bibi and Jomuna Sardar, graduation day marked a new beginning.